This is a demonstration of how simulations are set up in Harpoon 3. The Harpoon 3 editor allows you to compile a simulation. It's a fairly straightforward process. It draws on a large database of entities. In this case, they're stored in a directory, so we go into the directory and we're going to run the Super Hornet versus Flanker. So we've opened that file up. We will show all, and if we keep, and now we can start to run the simulation. So we'll start it. So it's a fairly straightforward process. It's a graphical interface, and of course the simulation knows about all the entities, and you can do things like put them in. You can see that there is a complete map of the world, and you can put them into location and then give them instructions. So in this case there'll be tactical air engagement. You see this is running currently at 15 times real time, so we might just slow it down a little. So it's running at 5 times real time. In this case, we once again got, and we're looking to show that there's no cultural or technical bias. We've got, looking at this from the Chinese perspective, of a Chinese flanker engagement versus American Super Hornet F engagements. Here they are. Super Hornets are supported by 2 sentries. Here's a sentry. Currently there's a Chinese missile, long-range missile inbound to the sentry. We'll see what happens there. One sentry just lost down to the south. The flashes that you see on the screen are a missile exploding. Now in this case, the missile exploded and detonated and the sentry is lost. So now there's this, as when the sentry is lost, it's been providing information to the Super Hornets. They'll now be working on internal sensors. So I'll speed this up a bit. It's currently running in real time. In fact, we can just watch this battle a bit. So it's now become a fighter-on-fighter battle with the flankers being given target information from the Chinese HF Skywave Radar, which we can just show here, the information coming in. I just pop the data links on again. You notice that there's still information coming in. We just go over here, up here, up here, up here. Here's the HF Skywave Radar. So just center this back down the battle, and over here information coming in from the carrier battle group headed up by the Nimitz. So we'll decrease this, the scale, center it, turn off the data links again so that we get a clearer picture, and zoom in a bit. And it's running in real time, so we'll speed it up so it's coming up to 15 times real time. Now you can see a lot of missiles detonating, a lot of aircraft disappearing off the screen. There are Patriot missiles on Taiwan, so if the flankers stray over that area they'll be engaged. Now we'll change that. A lot of Super Hornets have been lost, and we've still got tankers now being fired upon. This one's being intercepted here. Another missile going into this tanker. No, it didn't survive that one. This one will probably be taken out. A pair of missiles, yes. Finally down here. Because these tankers are being overwhelmed now because there's no protection for them. I don't think there's any Super Hornets left in the air. And with that, all the US air assets have been lost. Just zoom out just to demonstrate that. Oh no, there's still 2 tankers down here. But you can see that they're starting in. If you look at this flanker here, it will say it's on an intercept. So it's coming down, and this one is also on an intercept. So they're attacking. There's several of these aircraft, so they're all going to overwhelm the tanker. They sort out, they don't all fire. You notice a couple of times it was saying if you were quick, it said awaiting engagement outcome. So if one's got an engagement, it waits until the engagement's over so that they don't waste missiles, so they sort themselves out quite cleverly. And that now is the loss of all the US assets. So we can pause the game, resign, and we can see what the losses were. Okay, as expected, all 24 Super Hornet Fs were lost, 2 sentries, 6 extended tankers. In this particular case, 4 flankers were lost. This is pretty typical. In a summary of 10 runs, 5 blue, 5 red, the loss exchange rate was exactly, in that particular set of runs, 8-to-1 in favour of the flanker. So for every flanker lost, there were 8 Super Hornets lost. That concludes this simulation run.